investigating every angle, desperately searching for beautiful, missing Mickey Schnick. 2 days before her 22nd birthday, this stunning petite college student leaves her friend's house in the dead of night and disappears. Moments ago, police told the family they definitely have leads, but would not divulge details. Mickey was riding a bike that looked a lot like the bike we're about to show you, but authorities are unsure what route she took or where she ended up. Her home, 4.5 miles from the friend's house, and the most likely route, this one on Congress Street, but so far she has not been seen on any surveillance video along the route. Last night, a candlelight vigil held for Mickey. Hundreds of people banded together to lend their support to the distraught family.
We try to stay together out in public and then go home and fall apart.
That poor woman, we interviewed her last night. What happened the night Mickey disappeared? We've been interviewing Mickey's friends and family. Here's what we discovered, but we're going to discuss this timeline because, boy, we get, bits and pieces here and there. Mickey and 9 friends were at a bar called Atmosphere in Lafayette. That's the bar right there. At about 1 in the morning, Mickey and her friend Brettley biked to Brettley's house, which has since become command central in the search for this young lady. Then Mickey and Brettley reportedly got in Brettley's car, drove to Taco Bell, they picked up some food, drove back to Brettley's house. At about 2 in the morning, Mickey got on her bike and left Brettley's house. Listen to Brettley describe the final moments before Mickey left.
Checked her bike, checked her mace, and then she went through the back door. I told her to be safe and closed the door, locked it, and that was the last time I saw her.
With no apparent clues, blogs have lit up with theories about what might have happened. One such theory, well, there's a carnival, it turns out, in town. And there have been theories, speculations, questions. Could some suspicious character have come along with this carnival? The Cajun Heartland State Fair being held at the Cajun Dome, which is just a little over a mile from Mickey's friend's house. But this theory, is it grasping at straws, or could there actually be a connection? Call me, 1-877-JVM says. Straight out to our exclusive guest, Brettley Wilson, the very last person to see Mickey Schnick before she vanished. Brettley, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Let's just start by, if you could tell us what happened. You're at this Atmosphere with apparently 9 other friends, including Mickey. And how did you end up getting separated from 8 of them, and then you and Mickey going back to your place?
Well, Mickey was pretty tired. Her sister had come in the night before. They were both ready to go to her brother's graduation the next night. And so she was ready to go way before everyone else was. By the end of the night came, everyone decided they were going to go separate ways. They didn't want food. They wanted to go home, or they wanted to go somewhere else. So me and Mickey took off towards my house, and I offered to get her food at a nearby Taco Bell.
So you went to Taco Bell straight from Atmosphere, or did you go home first?
We went to my house. It was too late to bike indoor to the Taco Bell, so we got in my car, and I took her to the drive-thru. She picked something up, brought her back. She ate it. At that point, we got 2 phone calls from friends asking, where we were, checking on us, and saying that they were going to go get food somewhere else. But at that point, Mickey decided she was still too tired. She had gotten food, and so she had wanted to go home at that point.
All right, so now here's my question. She's tired. She doesn't want to bike to the Taco Bell to get something to eat, but then she proceeds to get on her bike and bike more than 4 miles home, even though she's so tired?
No, we can't get into the Taco Bell after a certain period of night. The car was just so that we could actually get food.
What? I didn't get that. You can explain to me. What did he say?
Drive-thru's open. Only the drive-thru.
Oh, the drive-thru is open, but you can't. See, I don't go to fast food joints. That's why I don't know this. Okay, we'll be talking about that later in our show. But you have to drive to get into a fast food drive-thru. You can't bike up there. So if you bike up there, they won't serve you? Is that it?
No, we've tried.
Wow, okay. All right, so I am here with famed former prosecutor Marcia Clark, author of Guilt by Degrees, as well as Wendy Walsh, psychologist and co-host of The Doctors. And these two ladies are also going to participate in asking questions. Do you have some questions, Marcia, for Brettley?
Well, I actually want to pursue the question you asked, which is she was really tired, and obviously he had a car. So, Brettley, if you had a car, why don't you just drive her home and carry the bike home in your car?
I didn't have a bike rack on my car. Mickey's done this, every night we've ever gone out, that she's ridden her bike somewhere. She actually rode her bike to the show, which was a bit further than my house. It was nothing out of the ordinary for her to bike anywhere, no matter the time of day.
Now, she was drinking or not that night?
No, she had gone out the night before. She didn't have anything to drink, to my knowledge. She seemed pretty exhausted, a little nauseous from the night before, so I didn't see her drink anything. I don't think she drank anything.
Have police searched your house, Brettley, to see if she left something there? Have they gone in and searched your house?
Yes, the police have gone ahead and, per protocol, searched my home, searched my car. I allowed them access to my laptop, any of my personal information, Facebook, email. I allowed them access to my phone, pretty much anything they could have used that would have helped find Mickey.
Wendy Walsh, psychologist, co-host of The Doctors.
I want to know how long you've known Mickey.
I've known Mickey a good while. We've become pretty close friends in the past 3 years.
What's a good while?
About 3-4 years.
Oh, I thought you knew her since like kindergarten or something.
Do you go to college together? Are you a college student as well?
Yes, we've gone to college together. I kind of knew her off and on through high school, but we never really were that close until I finally started going to college.
So is this a dating relationship? Is this a romantic relationship?
No, not at all. Me and Mickey actually got to know each other because I was dating her best friend.
Talk to the missing woman's sister and John Lieberman, investigative reporter. Stay right there.
It's just, we just need her back.
Okay, straight out to Brettley Wilson. We're interviewing him exclusively. He's Mickey Schnick, the missing woman's friend, and he's the last person to see her. What message do you have for Mickey?
Mickey, if you didn't know how much everyone cares about you, you don't have to look too far to know now. We've done everything we can, and we're not going to stop until we get you back. We love you. We miss you. We want you safe. You'll be home soon.
Thank you, Brettley. And stand by. We're going to probably come back to you, but we just want you to know those questions we asked you are just our effort to try to find this young lady. They were not in any way, shape, or form meant to in any way point a finger at you. You've been helping incredibly. As we show you some footage of a vigil that was held last night, a very emotional vigil. Remember, Mickey goes to school in Lafayette. She also lives there. So she is like the center of this entire community. Everybody is devastated in Lafayette. Want to go to Mickey's dad, Tom Schnick. Thank you for joining us, sir. Mr. Schnick, I understand that police did brief you just a couple of minutes ago. What did they tell you, if anything?
Well, actually, they briefed us about 1 o'clock, and they just told us they're trying to do everything that they can. They don't have a whole lot of information. I'm sure if they've got some leads, that I don't need to know about. You know, they want to build up my hopes in it. It's not anything. But everybody is involved. The mayor talked to me last night and said, you know, giving all the resources he can to these people. And we've got the FBI involved. The Homeland Security's been here. They're trying everything they can. But as far as leads go, I don't know of any leads.
Now, you just heard Brentley say they were at the Taco Bell, so there has to be surveillance video, I would assume. Did cops say anything about the surveillance video at the Taco Bell?
I'm not sure about the Taco Bell, but they did look at the surveillance at the club. And they did get pictures of her and a lot of other people, so they've got a good idea of what she was wearing, what her backpack looked like. I'm not sure at the Taco Bell. They didn't really bring that up. But I know they got the surveillance cameras. In fact, there were some other videos they got that the band was taking, I think.
Sir, if you could stand by a moment, we're going to go to Jim Hummel, a reporter with KATC. He is with search parties as we speak. Tell us, Jim, if you can hear us. I understand you're out on the water, somebody told me. Tell us about it.
Yeah, Jane, I'm out in the middle of Lake Martin right now. This is about 10 miles away from Lafayette. It's also one parish over. It's in St. Martin Parish. And there's I'd say about maybe 24 or so volunteers out here. They're on powerboats, they're on kayaks, and they're just looking for clues. They're really quite optimistic still that Mickey's going to be found safe and sound, but they're out here saying that they're looking for just any clue, maybe her bike, purse, keys, anything that might provide investigators with just that one clue that they need to move this investigation forward.
John Lieberman, investigative reporter, we've got some stats about the number of sex offenders in the area. Tell us what you have learned.
Yeah, we've been digging into this all day, Jane, because one avenue that police are looking at, of course, are all of the registered sex offenders in the area. What we found was at Brentley's house, within a 2-mile radius of Brentley's house, there are 166 registered sex offenders who either live or work in that area. Then when you look at Mickey's home, within a 2-mile radius of her home, there are 65 registered sex offenders who live or work in that area. And I wanted to just add to what the reporter was just saying. Police are looking at a number.
Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Before you get to that, we have a pretty shocked reaction from Marcia Clark and Wendy Walsh.
Oh,
that's incredible, isn't it?
That's incredible. That's almost 200.
What a special person this is. And how many people she has touched. And what you've done.
That young man, the last person to see Mickey Schnick before she vanished, and he is our exclusive guest. We have several, including a good friend who was with Mickey in the hours before she vanished. We're going to get to her next. But first, Marcia Clark and Wendy Walsh, your reaction was shocked when you heard 166 registered sex offenders in the area of the friend's house and 65 within her house.
It seems as though if she even going from point A to point B, from his house to hers, she's going to encounter, over 200 sex offenders. That's an awful lot of possible suspects. Imagine what the police have to go through, not to mention the fact this is a pretty woodsy area. So looking for evidence, looking for clues is going to be complicated by that as well. It's going to be quite a job.
But it's a lesson for young single women. You know, it's usually mothers that check the sex offender registry in their neighborhood. But young single women need to look at these numbers, too.
Yeah. But, I mean, it seems like every other person, every time we do one of these stories, it's the same story. Hundreds of sex offenders in the area. I mean, I hate to say it, you wonder, what, is every other person in America a sex offender, the way these things are written?
Wow.
And I know there's some dilution because some people who shouldn't be on it are, but that's a subject for another day. I want to go to Raven Talley. You are a friend of Mickey's. You were with her at Artmosphere, my understanding is, in the hours before she vanished. My question to you is, you were a group of 10. You were having a good time at Artmosphere, and you were on your bikes. How did it go from that to her getting on a bike at 2 in the morning and driving into disappearance?
Well, actually, not all of us were on bikes. A lot of us were driven there to Artmosphere. I know for sure Mickey and Bradley were on their bikes. The entire night, she was saying that she was hungry. We were trying to plan all of us going to a diner, but a lot of us had been drinking. Some wanted to stay, some weren't hungry. And at that point, Mickey was like, I don't want to wait around. I'm hungry. So that's when they took off on their bikes, and we stayed there.
So Mickey and Brettley left, and the 8 of you, the other 8 did something else, and you never saw Mickey again.
Correct.
So the last time you saw Mickey, what was going on?
We were hanging out on the patio and outside of Artmosphere. It was a smoke-free convention there, so no one was allowed to smoke inside. So a lot of people were outside of Artmosphere, just right in front.
Was she in a good mood?
Yeah, she was. She was perfectly normal. Other than just, she told us she had a crazy night the night before. She was just a little sluggish, not like about to fall asleep, but just.
But she wasn't drinking, correct? At Artmosphere.
Definitely not. She mentioned several times that she drank three cups of water in front of me. I saw her order water at the bar, and she mentioned it several times that she was definitely not drinking.
So there is a young woman who is not drinking, okay, completely sober, and now she's missing.
Since Mickey Schnick was last seen.
They're searching areas such as drainage canals again for the slightest clue as to where Mickey could be.
We just want her back. We want her safe. We want our friend.
She left here at this house around 2 in the morning and was on her way home.
We started calling around to all of her friends, and she was supposed to have been home, and no one had heard from her.
There is no indication either way whether foul play is involved.
It's such a large area, it's very wide scope for us to look at.
Something's clearly unusual with the circumstances.
We've exhausted every possible place she could be or any reasonable explanation for her missing, and there isn't one.
Where is a 22-year-old Mickey Schnick? It was a Friday night, just like any other, in Lafayette, Louisiana. A group of friends had gone to Artmosphere to hear some music, and then Mickey and her friend, Brettley, who we have on tonight exclusively, got some food at Taco Bell, went back to Brettley's home, and at about 2 in the morning, Mickey decides to get on her bike, and it looks like a black Schwinn, and head back to her house, which is a distance of about 4+ miles. She is never seen again. What has happened to Mickey Schnick? We are desperate to find her. There's been vigils. There are searches going on as we speak. And we are here now exclusively with Tom Schnick, the missing young woman's father, as well as Charlie Schnick, Mickey's sister. So, Charlie, you are both joining us exclusively tonight because you want to find out what happened to your sister. You are desperate to get some information. We are trying to get answers. We have a team of experts here to try to help you. Tell us about your communications with Mickey. Did you have any text or phone calls involving Mickey in the hours before she disappeared? Charlie?
Yeah, actually, I just happened to be in town for my vacation. I was taking a week, coming in for a couple graduations, my little brother. I knew she had been wanting to go to that show. She's like, if you're going to be here Friday, let's go to this show. She texted me about 11:45-ish and was like, hey, I'm at Artmosphere. If you're coming back, you should come meet me. I ended up staying in Baton Rouge with some old friends who I hadn't seen in a while, and that was the last time I talked to her, so...
Now, I understand her cell phone, when it was tried later, when did it appear to be shut off?
My mom gave her a call about 7 hours, I guess, after she's been declared missing, or, after they said she went missing, or what we've been saying. We called her about 9 o'clock in the morning. It went straight to voicemail, as far as we know. I called her as well. I was texting her all morning, like, where are you? What are you doing? You need to meet up with us. Don't forget about Zach's graduation. I thought it was really strange that her phone was off in the first place. We have the same phone, and they take a long time to die. But I was just thinking maybe she just didn't bring her ID or her phone charger with her. So,
all right. Thank you for that information. And again, as we try to solve this mystery, John Lieberman, investigative reporter, what have you learned?
Well, police are very concerned that the fact is that this area is very close to I-10, which, as you know, is a main thoroughfare that runs all the way out to California. That's one thing. The second thing is, look, police know this young lady did not just vanish. So they are right now, they're back canvassing at that bar. They are looking at red light camera video. They're gathering all the surveillance video that they can. And they are essentially also looking at employment records from the people who are supposed to work at that carnival, the Cajun Heartland State Fair. We understand police are looking at the employment records and any criminal history of anybody associated with that event, just as one more avenue that they're exploring to help find this young lady.
Yeah, and let's go back to that carnival. Now, there was a carnival in town, and there's no connection at this point. We don't have any information that it's in any way, shape, or form connected. But, of course, it's a shot in the dark. But why leave any stone unturned when we're desperate to find this young lady? And this is just footage, in general, footage of carnival. So this has nothing to do. If you see anybody on there, they're not connected. But, Marcia, how do police check that out?
Well, they go and they do exactly what they're talking about here. They check the criminal records of everyone who's working at the carnival and whether any of them are registered sex offenders. And then they check alibis for any of the people that might be looking good for it. They'll probably check everyone's alibi who might possibly have done it.
And I don't want to say anything that will disturb the family, but again, our primary focus is to help them find this beautiful young lady. Baton Rouge, about an hour away, unfortunately has a dubious distinction, Wendy, of being one of the top 10 cities in human trafficking.
Oh, dear. And she was very small body weight, only 5'1". Now, it's interesting that her bike is missing, her purse is missing, her cell phone's missing. There's no trail of any evidence. That's a lot to grab and go.
Yeah, and I think the most disturbing thing that I've heard, and one that I really hope that authorities focus on, is this connection to I-10. I rode on the 10 today here in California. The 10 goes coast to coast practically. And so I would suggest that authorities start focusing on the 10. And again, I will call for cameras on all public streets, because if we had cameras on all public streets, we wouldn't be dealing with this right now. We would have had a lot more information. My heart goes out to this family. Mr. Schnick and the rest of your family members, we will do everything to stay on top of this story. And please update us as soon as you